Hey guys, it's Hugh here, and I hope you're having a great day today. As you may or may not know, I did send an email out to the list last night with some information about an exploit that I discovered on my some of my blogs, and so I've got a lot of response back from that. People wanted to know more about it, how they could find it, how they could solve it. Um, had a response about Wordfence, and I'll talk about whether that's a good solution. So basically, I just wanted to basically walk you through this. I promised to do a video to show you what I'm talking about. So the first thing that I really started noticing was that when I upgraded to 3.8 WordPress, and when I mouse over the menu items here, there's no pop-up menu until I click it. And then when I click it, the menu comes up, but it's already too late because it's going to the one that I clicked, right? So that's pretty annoying. And I really wanted to solve that problem, so I started digging into things, and it really became evident that the reason why that's failing, I thought it was a WordPress glitch at first, but when I realized the reason it's failing is because there's some basically some hacked code on my blog, and I was able to discover that. I did see some of this last year and I removed it, but some of it has snuck back into my blog. So I want to show you where that is. So I went ahead and I logged into my cPanel, and I went to the file manager here, and I opened up the files on that blog. So you can see I'm in public HTML, and then I drilled down into the files of my WordPress installation. Now, one file that frequently actually does get attacked by this is the WP config file here, and I believe this one has that problem. So let's just take a look at that. Code editor, and if you can see a bunch of gobbledygook come up, then you're going to know, yeah, that's infected. Okay, you see all this? Like, this is some kind of variable, and then they've created some array with all this code that doesn't mean anything when you look at it, but when the hacked system runs it through a decoder, it actually comes out to code that actually does stuff. And I couldn't even tell you what it actually does. But the original file started here. So whatever happened, they were able to hack in and add all this stuff here to my WP config file. So what I would need to do is just simply delete that whole bit like this. So now we end up with the typical WordPress WP config file that looks like that, and I will save that. The WP config file seems to be one that gets hacked. Now let's go back and see if by any chance that fixed the issue with the menus. Okay, it still hasn't fixed it, so I'm pretty sure I've got more problems in this one. And this is just a test blog, I'm happy to say, but if I go to WP content and not sure about this index file, but let's take a look at that code editor. And yes, indeed, this one also has the hack code in it as well. Normally, these index files that they have at the top level of the WordPress directories don't have anything except this PHP silence is golden. Because if you put an index file into a directory, then the server automatically redirects to that file. It doesn't allow people to browse the directory at all. So I'm still going to go ahead and delete this. And that last code. And this is actually what that file is supposed to look like. So I'm going to go ahead and change that. Now, if we go into any of these subdirectories here, we're going to find probably the same thing. You'll notice it's 2445. That seems to be about the right size, and there's no way that it would ever be more than like this hello PHP. But if your index PHP and these directories are coming up at 25 KB, most likely they've got that code in there. So we'll open it up, and yeah, this one has it too. And just going to go ahead and delete that and save it. Now, I do think that Wordfence is actually a good solution to this. However, it may actually break your site to use Wordfence. So I'm going to go ahead and install Wordfence on this blog, and then we're going to see what that'll do for this. To get Wordfence, you just go to Plugins, Add New, and search for Wordfence. Then you just go ahead and install it and activate it. Wordfence uses basically a across-the-net API. So if you go to Wordfence, the first thing is it's going to, if it can't get an API, it's going to say that here, but generally you do get the API. So what we're going to do now, just going to go ahead and scan with Wordfence. And you can see it's working, but it's going to take a minute to do the scan. Oh, they do want you to put an email here to send alerts to. And I'll be honest, I'm trying to run the scan on this blog, but I honestly believe it's even too compromised for even Wordfence. It's not even working. So I click scan, and we see this red thing, and then it just goes away, and then nothing. So I believe that this blog is just too hacked. Well, what I can do right now is show you the results from another blog that I scanned, that I own. And first thing, this did work. It comes back and tells you that all these plugins need an upgrade. But the interesting thing is when you see this file may contain malicious executable code. So I'm pretty sure that does have the thing. So we can do is like view the file. And well, now look, actually this is a false positive, because if we look for, let's say we look for base 64 or base 64, then we do see a base 64 here, but the thing is, this is a regular theme function, so this is not hacked code. This is actually kosher, as it were. And I don't see any other hacked codes. I don't think this one is hacked. That's why I tell you that Wordfence will come up with false positives, okay? And this is actually, if I actually had this theme as the main theme of my site, which I don't, but if I did, and then I deleted the file, then the website would be broken permanently. Now I'm going to keep going and look at these, and this probably has the same thing, which is the base 64 in the theme. And there it is, and that's perfectly all right to use that. So you see it doesn't look like the same code that I identified in the previous section of the video. So we'll keep looking down here. I'm going to keep trying to see if I can find. These are all basically similar themes, and they're all going to have that same code in it. This is one of mine. Now let me see if they put something in this. I think I may have just encoded that file to protect the code, and that's exactly right. So some people actually protect their plugins with base 64, and we don't do that anymore, but in this version of the plugin I was doing that 1.0.8. We're still up, we're up on over version 2 now, so we don't do that anymore. So let's keep going down this list. Now this, it says it was modified. I'm not sure if I actually modified that myself. Let's take a look at it. Well, this is just your regular Hello Dolly plugin, so there's nothing bad in that. If it says it's modified, now I think we might have, not sure if I've eliminated all the problems that were already in this one. Now here's one where the theme footer has this in it. Now you'd say, why would the coder put this kind of code into a WordPress theme or plugin? And the reason is because what this code actually says is probably a link to the plugin creator. They don't want anybody getting in this code and hacking it up, to changing it so that people can't see, or people can't change the link back to the creator or whatever unless you buy the premium version. So they do stuff like this. So it's not really that unusual to have this code in your files. I'm going to go ahead and run that scan again and just see what happened, if anything. Okay, so I had to do a little more digging, and this is the same website. Here I've just scanned, and you see it's told me a bunch of stuff about these plugins. It's told me malicious code on the themes, which we've already proven that it's not malicious code. But what I did now is I went into my server directly and I opened WP content index PHP and look at this hack code that's in there, right? So the point is that I'm sorry, but Wordfence does not really do a good scan. I'm very sorry to say. I don't know of another tool yet that really solves this, so perhaps I should create one. The idea is that you got to go into these directories like WP content and get the index PHP file and look at it, because if it has this crap on it, you can believe that that is not supposed to be in that file. Okay, and you look all the way down, it's got the silence is golden thing again. That's the only thing that's supposed to be on that file. All this rest of this stuff just needs to be totally deleted and save that file. So I think that pretty much brings me to the end of this little presentation today. It's a lot of work. I'd offer to do it all for free if you had this problem, but it's just too much work. If you want to hire us to do it for you, we could probably set up a pretty reasonable offer to take care of this for you. I wasn't really making this video to make an offer, but I just realized that I could help people. I can't do it for free, but if you want us to help you with it, let me know. Otherwise, at least you know that you may have this issue and Wordfence does not help it. So what I did want to do is continue to remove all that stuff and then show you that I can make the menus work again. So hold on a second. Going into the themes directory, and themes like WP content themes index PHP right here. Look at that in the code editor. I promise you it's hacked. And it certainly is. So you're going to get rid of that. Just going to see if the themes themselves have been infected with the index PHP. Looks like it might be. It's got quite a few, but we never know. That might be part of the code. So let's take a look. And absolutely it's hacked. Okay, so it's like this opening tag is where the file should start. So I'm going to just have to delete all of this crap and save it. what you can also do is sort of check for something that's the same time period, and if it's exactly the same date, the chances are it may have been hacked, although that one was not. Another index PHP in another theme, and voila, we are hacked. Not too hard to get rid of it, just delete that whole PHP block, but make sure you have this at the top, and now it looks normal again, right? And probably this one's hacked too. Check the index PHP and code editor, and we are hacked. See, yeah, it's funny. It's hacked so bad that Wordfence can't even run. Okay. Although I don't really think these things are that malicious. I think what they do is they're used for possibly doing other processes throughout the internet. So it's not really doing anything to my blog, but it sort of turns my blog into a beacon that hackers can then use to execute other processes that target other blogs. For example, last week when they had the Aweber denial of service attack, you could have possibly have like a bunch of these blogs using this code to redirect requests from some other server around the internet. Because I'm not finding this in any other files other than the index PHP of these main directories. Like each one of these had their index PHP infected. And plugins index PHP was infected, but I fixed that. Themes index PHP was infected, I fixed that. Uploads. This is a directory where they will often hit you if you have stuff in there. You find an index PHP in there, you'll usually find SCOT code in it. Now also the index PHP of the blog itself, the main index PHP of the WordPress, it's in the same directory that has WP admin, WP content, WP include, etc. Pretty sure that one is hacked, so we're going to open that. And yes, indeed, it's hacked, so we'll get rid of that. Just delete that whole thing and save it. Let's check the WP admin. I'm pretty sure the index PHP on this one is going to be hacked too. And yes, indeed. Okay, so once again, we just take it from, we leave that first PHP tag and we get everything else out of there. Come on. All right. So that was the WP admin main index. Those menus are still not working, so I'm pretty sure there's some more hack code in there. So if you open the file and it has the PHP tag right at the top and these nice instructions like this, you can be sure that that file is pretty much is not hacked because they put it right up at the top before the good stuff. Okay, I checked here on the ask commit, and this is the subdirectory of plugins, which is inside WP content, and we go into ask commit. And we look at index PHP, and it's totally hacked. As you can see, ask commit's totally hacked. So get rid of that. You know, the silence is gold and all that. It's the typical WordPress directory placeholder. And check the other plugins. I don't think we even had an index in this in page view exploder, so I still haven't been able to get this menu to work, so I think there's still an issue. I'm going to try reinstalling the whole blog. I'm hoping that will cure it. Okay, so I was able to get the scan going now from Wordfence on the same blog. It's telling me I have no security issues now. And this is after I deleted all this code and stuff. I don't really know if that's true or not, to be honest with you. I still don't have the menus working, so I'm guessing there's some more code in there. I'm not going to, waste your time by dragging that out, but at least you're aware that this happens now. And I did solve the problem yesterday by just creating a brand new WordPress install and then pointing my web site to the new install, and then all those problems were gone and the menus worked. So I'm not sure if I can just get rid of it right on here. I wish there was an easier way. I may have to look into actually creating my own program that solves this issue for folks. Okay, I think I've taken enough of your time with this today, guys. I hope everything's going great for you. You know where to find me. If you need anything, hit me up. This is Hugh, out.